Welcome. It is a nice, beautiful Tuesday evening. Welcome to the Four Horsemen of Fantasy. I'm Gil Benhamou. Alongside me are my good friends, Karlos, Nick, and the Welshman, Jac. We couldn't find anything else that kind of went with W, so we're just going with the Welshman.
We're good friends now?
Yeah, we're good. We've graduated.
Close enough. I feel like we leveled up.
We were acquaintances,
but
yeah.
I thought that was it. But
Anyways, lots of crazy games this weekend. Oh my God. Scoring bloodbath. I gotta say, first off, I put up 200 points in my money league, but enough about me. Guys, how was your weekend so far?
My weekend was good. I watched football. Honestly, I just love, for anyone who doesn't know, I'm a runner, so I love going for a long run in the morning on a Sunday, and then I just get home, and I just sit down and I watch football all day, and it's absolutely brilliant. I cannot complain one bit.
Yeah, that's fun.
Outside of fantasy football, I had a very lazy weekend, man. There's nothing. Listen, when you get to my age, when you get to your mid to late 30s, there's nothing like a nice nap in the middle of the day. And I had 2 solid naps. One Saturday, one Sunday, and it was phenomenal.
I did as well. I just slept overnight. Does that count as a nap?
No. My nap's typically when the sun is bright in the sky, shining over the world. But they're doing things, and not me.
well, all I gotta say is get ready for this therapy session, guys, because I went 0-5 in all my.
I'm right there with you.
Oh yeah, as you can tell, we got quite a great slate of stuff to talk about ahead of us. But let's get started right out of last night. Ravens Colts. Wow.
What a game.
Crazy.
I can't get started on how weird this game was. Lamar Jackson just immediately couldn't do anything for a whole half. And the next thing you know, he puts a deep one to Hollywood Brown. And then next thing you know, it's 2 touchdowns to Mark Andrews and then another one to Hollywood Brown. And it's just crazy. But where can I start? Lamar Jackson put up 40 points that game.
He had 9. Comical. He had 9. With 3 minutes left of the third.
Yeah,
I needed him to score 16 or less.
He went
in
Tom
one of my
Brady in the
leagues,
Super
and I actually
Bowl.
thought he was
Oh, no, he went absolutely nuts. And then on top of that, Mark Andrews also had a 40-point game. That was also crazy. I lost because of that, too, in one of my leagues. I'm very unhappy about that. Hollywood Brown with a 20-piece, pretty average for a wide receiver 1. I got to go to the other side of the ball real quick. Right out of the gate, Jonathan Taylor puts up a 76-yard touchdown.
Yeah, don't remind me, please.
I'm sorry, bud. I'm sorry. Wentz even had a decent game, even though it was a 22-piece, but 400 yards, 2 touchdowns.
I think some people, anyone who needed a fantasy miracle last night,
Got it.
I know some people were on the receiving end of it, but some people needed imagine you had Lamar and Mark Andrews and you were down 70.
I saw that in a comment section where someone said I was up 60 and the other guy had Lamar and Mark Andrews.
I saw someone on
and
Twitter
you just
saying
get
they were
blown
down.
out.
I saw someone on Twitter saying they were down 80. They lost by 1. They went to bed at halftime. They were I'm all good.
No.
Oh my God.
I got this.
It's insane.
A lot of crazy other stuff happened. Obviously, you had your Devontae Adams 37-piece, your Alvin Kamara 30-piece. But I want to move to the Chargers and Browns because that was an offensive bloodbath. Anybody that bet the over on that, I'm good for you.
And I feel bad for the Browns, man. No turnovers, 42 points, and 500 yards on offense. I don't feel
bad for them. That defense could not close that game out.
No, to be fair, they threw Eckler into the end zone.
Yeah, basically.
That's how bad it was.
That was hilarious.
That was a brilliant play.
Oh, yeah. But they just couldn't convert. They couldn't convert on their own end.
They could, they couldn't get the offense going when it counted.
As the Eckler owner in my money league, I was ecstatic because he would not have scored that otherwise. And he finished.
No shot.
And he had about I think 7 points middle of the third. He did all of his work in the fourth quarter.
I feel like most of the Chargers did.
Yeah, just about. There was 3 touchdowns from the Chargers, and I think it was a total of 1,000 yards.
Bloody.
Besides Herbert,
in the
who
whole
was
fourth quarter.
excellent the entire game.
Herbert had a great game. Mike Williams had a great game.
Herbert putting up 50 points. I felt that in my main league. I felt every one of those points.
I don't think that even the Chargers expected to get what they got out of Justin Herbert. When they drafted him out of Oregon, I don't think they expected this.
No, not
I
at
don't
all.
think anyone did,
No.
He's just been absolutely
And the Dolphins
incredible.
are kicking themselves right now when they should have grabbed
They
him.
took to it, yeah.
I want to shed light on the Browns for a second because I want to get specifically on Nick Chubb here. He put up about 22, which is, a regular RB1 projection. He's obviously a lottery pick. But the problem with me here is that he put up 161 yards, and it raises the question for me that is he just a touchdown-dependent back?
I mean, he did have that long touchdown run, which kind of salvaged his day a little bit. It is a little bit worrying that Kareem Hunt is scoring week in, week out, 20 points. They have 2 of the top 5 most talented backs in football. So
the thing with Kareem Hunt is a lot of people forgot He's only one of 3 running backs in the last couple of years to have 25 rushing touchdowns and 15 receiving touchdowns.
Yeah.
He led the league in rushing.
Oh, no,
Kansas City.
he's great. I think the talent is there, obviously. It's worrisome for people that put up a high pick for him. But yeah, it's just concerning for Chubb owners, just because he could put up these crazy numbers, but you don't know, because he could put up great yards like Derrick Henry, but if he doesn't score touchdowns, what's the use? Moving on though, Sunday night game, Bills-Chiefs. Chiefs get absolutely stomped. Josh Allen has an incredible game. He looks like he just shot himself back into the MVP conversation with that. But I want to talk about the options. Emmanuel Sanders had a great game. Dawson Knox had a fantastic game.
Out of nowhere, Knox is killing.
We said it last week.
Yeah.
We said Dawson Knox is a guy to pick up in your waiver wire because tight end is a fantasy wasteland.
I was about to say the same
Knox
thing.
is that guy.
No, and
he's
the
gone
crazy
now.
thing-
By the
Oh,
time
yeah.
you hear this, he's gone.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No. He's got to be picked up in almost every league.
Yeah, you've missed your chance.
Absolutely. I'm glad I got him. It was great. I got him in 2 leagues and he did fantastic. And the crazy thing is he did all his work in like 3 receptions. They were all like jump balls, more or less. Like they were all pretty much, it's a jump ball specialist type of thing. That's exactly what tight ends do. They got, unless you're Travis Kelce who gets all these in routes and things like that, these are jump balls that Dawson Knox should be getting. And he did. And he converted with it.
It's people like Knox that are actually hurting Stephon Diggs' value right now.
Oh, tell me about it, man.
I
He had
think
like only
Sanders
8,
is the
he had
one.
like 9 points and it really
Yeah.
pissed me off. But on top of that, again, like Emmanuel Sanders, like fantastic.
another
He's
game.
been the deep option.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because he's bloody mid-30s.
Yeah.
The only thing is he only had 3 catches this week, but he caught 2 touchdowns. And
Yeah.
I really think he's capping Stephon Diggs' upside. Like, you plug and play Diggs every single week, but he's not giving you the numbers that he gave you last week because he's not getting those deep touchdowns, which Sanders again.
It's getting difficult to play him, yeah.
Concerning for the Chiefs, though, is not necessarily Mahomes playing awful. I think you're just going to chalk it up to a bad game. However, Kelce...
22 is a bad game. You'll still take it.
Oh, of course, but it's Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
That's the
his
problem.
floor,
That's
though.
his floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My problem here is Travis Kelce, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Tyreek Hill are all hurt. That's concerning for people that own him, people that wasted high picks, especially on Hill and Kelce. Moving forward, you're like robbed of a tight end that's guaranteeing you almost 17 a game, at least. That's the floor. And you lose Tyreek Hill, who is primed to explode at any week.
But they're not. They're questionable. They're not
questionable.
out, right?
No,
Those
but
two
Edwards,
are.
at least Edwards-Helaire is for sure.
Hilaire's gone for at least 3 weeks.
He's gone
Yeah.
in the short-term IR, so he's
Yeah.
out 3 weeks, which by the way makes Darrell Williams a big waiver wire pick
Yeah,
this week.
it does. I can't even say it's a big pick because the Chiefs' running game.
They don't run.
They don't
run the ball.
No.
They can throw 50 times a game and be fine.
We said the same thing. Like you said the same thing about Clyde Edwards-Helaire. The last therapy session was like
Yeah.
he's a bum, and it's just not in the sense of like him not playing well. It's just because the progress is the Chiefs are just always going to be throwing the ball.
I actually disagree with that. I actually think that Darrell Williams, I think is actually going to be a good pickup, and I think he's going to be. At the end of the day, the running back is a wasteland at the moment. We've had so many injuries.
He's
He's a starting running back for the Kansas City Chiefs. He's someone you has to be starting in a fantasy lineup each week. And let's say you've lost Chris Carson the last week, and you've lost a couple of big running
Montgomery.
backs.
Yeah.
Montgomery,
Barkley.
He's someone who you put in, right?
And now you have buys this week.
CEH.
Alvin Kamara.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
got,
Mike Davis is
Mike
out this
Davis.
week, and
49ers.
San
pretty much
Francisco aren't playing.
Patterson.
Mike Davis.
So,
We're not talking about.
but
Mike
anyway,
Davis.
yeah, but like still, yeah, we're laughing about Mike Davis, but you were still plugging him in as an RB2.
For
like,
sure.
You had to. So if you're desolate, Darrell Williams is a guy that I think you have to pick up.
Yeah, definitely. Quickly wrapping this up, I want to just shed light. This is obviously in light of breaking news. This all happened last night, Monday night, in the middle of the game. John Gruden resigned over a controversy regarding a lot of very bad emails sent a long time ago, and on top of that, just breaking, he was removed from the Bucs Ring of Honor. I want to see where does this go? Where do the Raiders look moving forward? I think they're just sinking down the middle. And honestly, good riddance on the Raiders' part because I don't think he deserves a job anymore. But
Well, I mean, I'm going to say something that, maybe hindsight's a little 2020. Was Gruden really that good of a coach? He had a losing record since the Super
No,
Bowl,
he
and that
wasn't good.
Super Bowl was won with Tony Dungy's players when he wanted to Tampa Bay. I don't think Gruden was the mastermind that people had. He was just charismatic because they saw a familiar face on Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
He had his quarterback camps. His energy jumped off the screen. I didn't think that necessarily translates to the Raiders. I actually kind of disagree with you. I don't think it does anything for the Raiders. I think the Raiders are what the Raiders are, regardless of John Gruden being a head coach there.
that's also fair. I think
I
that's a fair
think
take.
The Raiders started really well this season, and I think they were 3-0, but they got smashed by the Chargers. They just lost to the Bears, who aren't that very great.
That was a dreadful game.
Yeah, awful,
yeah.
awful game. But I do think that Gruden was kind of capping the upside of Carr and that offense in general. Like, I think Carr is a good quarterback. He's a competent quarterback. I really want, like, Bryan Edwards to possibly break out now. I hope they can unlock that offense. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, well, I don't know. The Raiders are just kind of a mess as it is. But I want to move into our more interesting topic we have here. So, guys, we're 5 weeks into the season. I haven't made any crazy trades yet, and I know Jac's seen his fair share, and I don't know if he wants to talk about it. But lots of crazy targets, because obviously there's, like we said, there's injuries, and we got to capitalize on those. Even if you can't snag somebody on the waiver wire, like a Kadarius Toney or Booker, who's going to be the backup for Barkley now that he'll be gone for a little bit. But these people you want to move and try to acquire for. So I'm going to get started with Karlos here. Karlos, who do you have as a potential trade target 5 weeks in?
5 weeks in, and this is going to hold true especially for Christian McCaffrey and Dalvin Cook owners respectively. Chuba Hubbard and Alex Mattinson are guys you need to trade for. Why? Not because of the production that they've already had, but because of the outlooks of McCaffrey and Cook going forward. I still don't think they're going to be healthy the rest of the year. And even if they are, the Panthers and the Vikings are definitely going to scale back the workload of these guys. Cook already got paid. McCaffrey got paid. They're not going to want to ruin their investment on, what could be a middling season. Mm-hmm. These guys' workloads are going to be eased in, and Hubbard has already demonstrated a little bit of ability. Listen, he had
a great game.
He's a cheap rookie. You can ride that out. Mm-hmm. With Mattinson, he's already been talked as one of the higher handcuffs in the league.
Oh yeah, his floor is great. If he starts in the game, you got to start him.
These two games that he's had the opportunity to play instead of Cook are far better than any of the games he had last year when Cook was out. I think these are obvious trade candidates, and I think you can still get them on the lower end because McCaffrey and Cook are coming back this week.
What kind of player would you trade for?
I would look at trading I would think about as high as Javonte Williams. If I could package A.J. Dillon and maybe like a low-end receiver, like a wide receiver 3, to get a Hubbard or a Mattinson, maybe pay a little bit more if you're a CMC and Cook owner.
Yeah.
But I would, like A.J. Dillon, Javonte Williams, I'd feel comfortable. Kind of a guy who is a higher handcuff, maybe getting the starting running back job like it is going to be with Denver.
Like, let me give you two names here: Alexander Mattison or James Conner going forward.
I would take Mattinson.
Alexander Mattison or Jamal Williams.
Ooh. That's a little tougher. Wow. That's a little tougher. See, game script.
Like the range.
Game script favors Swift, but I think Jamal Williams has a nice floor for what Detroit can do.
Yeah.
I still probably would go with Mattinson.
Yeah.
For sure if you're a Cook owner.
Absolutely.
If not, that's probably where you can kind of toss up.
That's like the end of the range. No, I totally agree with that. All right, I'll get on to my trade target next. So for me, this is I'm going to go with a rookie wide receiver here, and I'm going to go with Devontae Smith. And the main reason
it's a bold strategy, Cotton.
I'm going with this is the volume, right? When we look at wide receivers, especially rookie wide receivers, we're looking for volume. Now, Jalen Hurts and him obviously have a rapport because Devontae Smith has not seen less than 6 targets in a game, and you also have to bear in mind he's going up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this week. We just saw Myles Gaskin have 10 catches for 74 yards and 2 touchdowns. So yeah, I know Myles Gaskin is a running back, but every single receiver that has played against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you know that you can't run on them, so you have to pass it. Yeah. So Jalen Hurts isn't really going to be able to. I don't think he's going to be able to scramble as much as he has been. I could see him capping off at 25 rushing yards this week, and he's going to have to pass the ball. And Devontae Smith is his man. I know he likes the tight ends, but Devontae Smith is his man. I think Devontae Smith is the wide receiver 1 in that offense, and it's an offense that has surprised a couple of people this year. So I think Devontae Smith is a great trade target. Now, when it comes to who I would trade for him, it's really tough because I'm looking at people in his range, and I'm looking at Chase Claypool, I'm looking at Marquise Brown, I'm looking at Tyler Boyd. They're all toss-ups, but for me, if I would go out there and trade Marquise Brown off this big game and get him for Devontae Smith, and I know that might be like a shock
I
to a lot
actually
of people.
100% agree with you on that
really,
because I think trading.
I'm not sure if I do.
Yeah.
No, the thing with Marquise Brown is we're not going to be so sure about his floor. No matter how great his games have been, we don't know how good his floor will be. Because it's just a testament to the Ravens offense, because you don't know if there's going to be a game if they'll just rush all over the place. Yeah. But I think you gotta take the chance on trading him because I feel like you might get a better return.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, maybe off this big game you could get Marquise Brown, you could get Devontae Smith plus maybe. a Chuba Hubbard or Alexander Mattison, you know, and that I think that'd be a
nice
great
package
deal to go and get.
One thing to add on to that, because you mentioned that Hurts like this tight ends, Goddard's already put on the COVID list.
Yes, he
and
is.
it's a short turnaround for Thursday.
Yeah.
So Smith might
he's
be
probably not playing this week.
So Smith might be a nice target to get like right now
And
before
Hurts.
he blows up. For
And
the
Hurts,
Thursday
potentially.
games are always wacky too, which is so strange.
So funky.
So
Because
funky.
we just saw Robert Woods put up 150 yards last Thursday. So after
And
coming out of nowhere.
he probably won't do that for the rest of the season.
No, he better.
He could be a trade away target.
Yeah. Anyways, Nick, what you got?
I was looking at Joe Mixon of the Bengals. You know, I mean, I think he'd be a great guy to grab, especially coming off the injury. There's uncertainty with him. Samaje Perine just got hurt, so I think.
I think he just got put on the COVID list, didn't he?
Yeah. So he's out.
And he didn't really look that great.
No, he didn't. So Joe Mixon would be a great guy to grab, especially with owners who might be uncertain about what he can produce moving forward. For now, what you can probably trade for him.
Would you give up Gaskin after that game?
Oh my God, dude! Don't even get me started on Gaskin. I traded him away in both my leagues.
Oh, I benched him, so there's that.
Oh, somebody just straight up dropped him in our league, in my league.
I think dropping him is foolish.
I dropped him in our league.
All right, BRB, we're gonna pull up the. We're gonna go put up
5-0 by
claims
the
right
way.
now.
I'm 5-0 by the way. No, look, with Gaskin though, was anyone playing this week?
No shot.
How could you? He was playing against the best run defense
How you play him
in
against
football.
Tampa Bay?
Yeah, exactly. You can't
You know, like,
expect
you
that.
can't do that.
Like that's the thing. Everyone saw this game happen, and everyone saw it on their bench. Like,
So
and
does that
everyone's
raise
cursing out.
optimism for? Because if Miles Gaskin.
No, it doesn't because
One fluke of a game.
No. I'm not talking about Gaskin. I'm talking about looking into this week. If now you see Gaskin can put up these kind of numbers against the best run defense in the league, does that give you optimism that Miles Sanders might do the same?
No, I
Kenneth
think
Gainwell is the pass catching back there. Absolutely.
But he's still
I don't
got.
think so.
But even despite that, Sanders still got more touches, by a lot. Even though
I
that
think Philadelphia really wants to see if Jalen Hurts is going to be the guy going forward. They're going to force him to throw a lot.
I don't
Oh,
like
yeah.
Sanders at all.
Yeah.
Me neither, and I really got to deal with it. Anyways, I got plenty to look at here. Like you mentioned before, I like Chase Claypool. Juju Smith-Schuster is ruled out for the rest of the season with a shoulder injury. He obviously got limped off. He was crying off the field. It sucks. Obviously,
What
really,
a raw deal for him.
Yeah,
He
but
bet him himself this year as well.
Oh,
He really
some
did.
bets don't pay out.
yeah, honestly,
At least he can just TikTok all the time now.
oh yeah, right.
Full time. He might earn more money, honestly.
Man, he took that Corvette all the way to the hospital. But anyways, I think now Chase Claypool's got a tremendous upside because not just Juju's hurt, even though he was pretty much at getting the short end of the stick regardless. But Claypool had a pretty good game against Denver. I wouldn't put it past anybody trying to trade for him. I just think he's got tremendous potential to do better. He might end up outperforming Deontay Johnson. You don't even know if they're going to just give Najee Harris the ball for the entire game because even though he'll play well, that'll just open up for Ben Roethlisberger to connect with anybody else, even though he sucks. On top of that, I just think you got to look at Claypool. You got to at least give him a look.
Yeah.
With that said, I would probably want to trade a wide receiver 2 flex type player.
Let me give you some names. Adam Thielen.
I was thinking about it. I might go Claypool.
You can Claypool over Thielen. What about, here's a good one, Tyler Lockett.
Lockett.
I would trade Lockett now with Russell Wilson being injured.
I would trade Lockett as well.
And so you would trade Lockett straight up for Claypool.
Yeah.
But you got Geno Smith there. You got the GOAT over there. What are you talking about?
Shut your damn mouth. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, maybe the goat of West Virginia.
No, don't trade Debo. Debo is literally top 5 in yards right
Yeah,
now.
you can't get rid of
Okay,
Debo.
all right. Okay, maybe that's it.
Also-
I'm looking at the Fantasy Pros rankings. Right now, Chase Claypool rest of the season is 28. I don't think people have maybe updated it right now. But Tyler Lockett's 19. So if you're looking at that range, he could be low-end wide receiver 2, and I think he could put those numbers
That's
up.
that's a valid 1-for-1 trade,
Yeah.
honestly. Because most of these times, if you're looking at these kind of trades, you want to go 2-for-1.
Yeah.
I'm also letting you guys know I got Devontae Smith and Chase Claypool in our league. So if you guys want to make some
Here we
trades,
go.
I'll give you a call
Definitely
right
let
after
me
this.
know.
Anyways, so I want to look into not only just trading for, but trading away. We mentioned that we want to trade players for some and get some better player in return. We mentioned a lot of these players before. I think it's worth looking at least selling high now because they've either had a good game, always have a high floor, or just projected to play well for the rest of the season. So I'll start with Jack on this one. Who do you think you want to sell high on right now?
So this isn't actually a sell high. I know I discussed this with you before, but for me, this isn't a sell high. This is a sell based on name value. It's Odell Beckham Jr. Now,
Agreed.
Baker Mayfield
Very
threw
good trade.
305 yards, 32 times, and Odell Beckham had 3 targets, 2 catches, 20
Yeah, I
yards.
think he had 4 points over the weekend?
2 catches for 20 yards, 4
Yep.
points in full PPR settings. Baker hasn't looked good, number 1, and number 2, him and Odell Beckham just aren't on the same page.
No.
The Browns put up 42 points, and Odell Beckham gets 4 fantasy. That is not going to cut it at all, and that's why I think he's someone you can potentially package, because he is good just on name value alone. I think I personally would drop him. And I know that might sound outlandish, but I think people have, especially if they play fantasy the last 4 or 5 years, they saw what Odell Beckham's capable of, and they might think he can do that for the rest of the season. I don't think that's going to happen, but I guess we'll have to see.
I don't want to call this a hot take, but just given how things panned out for the Giants last week, I wouldn't be shocked if Kadarius Toney puts up Odell the Giants type numbers.
No, it's exactly what I said off air as well.
It's got tremendous upside.
They look so similar as well.
And the crazy part was Daniel Jones just wasn't there for the whole game anyway.
They both
crazy.
They both missed camp. Odell did. When his rookie season,
right.
So did Kadarius Toney. He came into the season a little bit hurt. It took a couple of injuries for him to get into the team, and all of a sudden he's putting up 11 catches for 190 yards.
And Kadarius is punching people like Odell is.
This man literally broke a freaking record and got ejected.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He punched a man with a helmet on.
Yeah, I think the helmet wins.
He pulled a Javon Wims.
Yeah.
He pulled a Javon Wims. Anyways, Nick, you got any ideas here?
Yeah, actually, someone that I'm trying to get rid of probably right now is Robert Woods, to be honest with you.
Bobby Trees. I feel like we bring him up every week.
You know what?
It's for sometimes a good reason, and sometimes just therapy.
Right now, especially right now, just gotta look at his production the last 4 weeks before Seattle's game last Thursday night. He just hasn't been there, been giving you on average, I would say 8, maybe 10 points now after scoring 21 points Thursday night. And that's not going to continue, especially when you got Cooper Kupp, especially with that offense. Stafford loves Kupp. He'll even throw to Higbee in the end zone. Robert Woods, that was just a fluke of a game.
Van Jefferson's a little relevant now.
And you got to even look
Everybody
at that,
but Robert Woods.
Yeah, everyone but him. So if you're looking to find maybe a good running back 2 for Robert Woods straight up, go for it.
Yeah, I agree on that one.
What about Michael Pittman Jr.? Off
He-
that big game last
Oh,
night.
no, but see, the thing is,
great
he's got way more upside than Woods because
I
he's
think so.
actually the wide receiver one.
Woods has never had a high ceiling. He's always been a safe floor guy.
Yeah, but
Except
even then,
for
his
this year,
floor is
before this
dropped.
game.
But the thing with Pittman is you're not getting many other passing options. Taylor Pittman and probably Mo Alley Cox. And yeah, that's
Is Paris Campbell healthy?
Yeah,
he
he's
played.
healthy,
He
but
actually had a good game, and I feel that's just credit to Wentz having a great game. But I feel like if you want somebody that's going to actually give you decent floor but also high ceiling, I would probably look at Pittman.
And Woods is 10 spots higher in the Fantasy Pros rankings than Pittman. But that is a deal that I would potentially go out there and do
Absolutely.
right now because I think
Go for it.
It's just because we don't know
good.
because game script also would promote the Colts passing the ball.
Yeah.
The only thing that I would push back is I'm a fan of the Cardinals and the Rams offense. Those are players that I would rather have than somebody from the Colts. While I think Campbell has more upside, is it going to be
a floor that's worrisome?
I'm sorry, yeah. It's going to go down to me, is it going to be Wentz or Stafford? I'd have more faith in Stafford producing fantasy receivers than I would Carson Wentz, who can barely stay on the field.
But pretty much any NFC West target has just been a major beneficiary of their offenses.
Michael Pittman's upcoming schedule is Houston, San Francisco, Tennessee, the Jets, Jacksonville. That's 5
All right, so I would
easy.
trade for Campbell. Oh, I'm sorry. I would trade for Pittman now, and then trade him after
trade him
5
away.
weeks.
I feel like
It's just a rental. It's just a rental.
In week 10, he'll be a sell-high candidate.
honestly, yeah. Well, week 11 he has Buffalo, so yeah. But yeah,
Gotta get rid of him by then, but yeah.
I think he's a good target.
I think the guy for me for selling high, if you're looking to get a maximum value, James Robinson. James Robinson started very poor the first 2 games, but you look at his points. Depending
Because
on how
the
your league
Jags
goes,
stopped listening to Urban Meyer.
James Robinson, 26 points, 20 points, 22 points the last 3 games, depending on how your league scores. Now you look at his schedule. He's got Miami. That's going to be a plus matchup. Then they go on a bye, so that kind of sucks. But then he has Seattle, which I also believe is going to be a plus matchup because I think Seattle, I almost think their season is done for if Wilson does not come back within 4 weeks.
Yeah, I agree.
And they're not going to rush him. Although he's getting up there a little bit on age, they're not the same team with Geno Smith. So I would hold on to James Robinson right now.
Yeah.
But right after that bye week, go into that Seattle game, I would start looking in for offers because the next couple of games right after that, Buffalo, Indiana, San Francisco, later in the season he has Tennessee and New England in the playoffs. If you're in a championship game, that's not a schedule I want to be a part of. When you have a Jaguars player who are going to be out of it in any contentious purchases. So I would definitely trade high on James Robinson, but I'd wait a week or two, kick the tires to see what you can get.
Yeah, it's very strange with the Jaguars. I really don't know what to make of like anything. Like Chenault's playing pretty well, and like
he needed a Chark injury in order to play well. Now.
Can I have a rant about the Jacksonville just very briefly?
Go for it.
Chenault and Marvin Jones this week saw 8 targets. Jamal Agnew and Tavon Austin saw 13.
What?
Urban Meyer, what are you doing? They had a 4th and 1. You know who they gave the ball to? Carlos Hyde. James Robinson had been...
Why is Carlos Hyde on any roster?
This is my rant.
Honestly.
This is my rant.
You're right. I'm going to unplug.
Both of you, okay? This is my rant. Okay?
This isn't NFL therapy. That's later.
This is ridiculous. Like, you know what Urban Meyer said after the game? I'm not in control of which personnel on the field. Yes, you are.
Are you kidding me? What?
That's what he said after the game. Like, this is ridiculous. It was in such an easy matchup.
What a
like,
fool, man.
Marvin Jones and Visca were both huge plays this week. They were playing Tennessee. And they're throwing the ball to Tavon Austin and Jamal Agnew. Jamal Agnew was only just signed for the team. I was fuming seeing it, and I'm just like, Urban Meyer, like, get the hell out of Jacksonville.
No, I just don't think he deserves that spot. Anyways.
Regardless of the fact that he's cheating on his wife, pretty much in a club. Like, we're not even going to talk about that. Like, I'm talking about football alone. Like, he needs to get out.
The last thing that I would say when it comes to Urban Meyer and the Jacksonville Jaguars, the very fact that the NFL is sending Jacksonville and the Dolphins to London,
it should be
considered an act of war.
Yeah, that's a crime.
Poor London.
That's a crime.
My poor people at home have to see the Falcons and the Jets.
And then just somebody in the NFL front office just be like,
Parliament is going to go to a vote and like the Americans have just declared war on us by sending us these 2 teams.
Oh yeah,
and the Royal Air Force is just going to bomb us next.
They're just going to be like, oh, piss off! You gave us the Dolphins.
Okay, that was a Scottish accent. I don't know. Never try that again.
Fair enough. Anyways,
Gil just had haggis.
You just choked on it. It sounded like.
Anyways, I'll go. You're good.
Yeah,
You're okay, Jack.
I'm done.
Anyways, so I'll go for my player I want to sell high. I'm going to go to Tampa. I'm going to say Antonio Brown. And here's the reason why. Gronk's going to come back any second now. Probably won't be this week just because of the short week. I'm concerned they're going to rush him back, which is why I'm worried. Because they'll bring Gronk back. He might hurt his ribs again. Don't forget he had a punctured lung.
The man is not human.
Yeah, exactly. If you put Gronk back in and he's a week-to-week player, Antonio Brown's end zone targets are practically gone. Week 1 was like the only shot we got of that being like an actual great game. Like, I'm not saying he won't have a really high ceiling, but I feel like it'll just drop and you're like almost guaranteed maybe like 12 a game because then he's just going to hit either Godwin or Gronk in the end zone. And now Evans is...
Evans too.
I was about to say, and Mike Evans is getting into the rotation because he just started a little slow, but now he obviously started picking things up.
Yeah.
So I just want to say, like, Antonio Brown, if you want to trade him away now, I think it wouldn't be the worst idea ever.
I'm just watching Karlos.
And I've been switching my face and crossing my legs as Gil was presenting a valid argument.
Stroking your beard?
Yeah, just, I'm not too sure. I could just hear it. Brady has a thing for Brown. He campaigned for him in New England. Mm-hmm. He obviously had influence in bringing him to Tampa Bay. Maybe I consider trading him, like you say, but I don't think it's going to be as cut and dry and as simple as I feel like Brady wants to keep Antonio Brown in the game plan at all times.
It just feels like his ceiling drops immediately because he had a monster game.
But I think he has a decent floor.
I don't know. Like the floor, I guess the floor is decent enough to keep him, but
I got a trade proposal for you guys: Antonio Brown, Michael Carter for Stephon Diggs.
No. I mean, if you're receiving Diggs, no.
I'm getting Diggs.
No.
Oh, if you're getting
Diggs.
I'm
getting Diggs.
Oh, yes.
Still, no. Why? Because Diggs
He's getting Diggs.
You're getting rid of Michael Carter. That's enough for me.
Yeah. Get rid of Michael Carter, yes, but Diggs has just not been playing to projection. Or even though projections are, he's not playing up to standard.
He could be a guy that you could also grab too.
Can you two just complete that trade, please? Holy shit.
I don't even think you have Antonio Brown.
No, different league. This is one of 5 million leagues.
If you're getting Diggs,
I think that's a no-brainer.
You're getting rid of a running back.
Trading away Carter is obviously the profit of this deal.
But Diggs,
I guess if you get Diggs for Carter, then obviously. But I'm just concerned for Diggs. That's like the thing. It's because Josh Allen's looking elsewhere right now.
I'm not concerned.
I think he'll turn it around. I think this is just a fluke with Sanders. But
He's got a safe floor. He gets 14 a week, minimum. So I guess this.
And the offense is one of the best.
He had 9 points against the Chiefs. I could have sworn he should have done better.
Yeah.
I really think he should have done better. Maybe it's a recency bias and I'm just salty, but
I get you.
Well. Anyways, we're going to take a quick break. Coming back, we'll just discuss some quick, spicy storylines heading into Week 6. And, of course, my favorite session, therapy. We'll be back in a second. Welcome back, guys. This is the Four Horsemen. Gil Benhamou here alongside me. I'm going to say it again. Good friends, guys. Come on now. Carlos, Jac, and Nick.
The Wolf Pack.
The Wolf Pack. Oh my God. Throw them fours up. You know the vibes. Anyways, Week 6 coming up. I'm on such an emotional high out of Week 5 because everything was just so offensively incredible, like the high scoring and all that. Yeah. And I want to talk about Week 6. There's a lot to look at. Fantasy-wise, this is going to be an incredible week. I'm so excited. We're going to obviously start off Thursday with the Bucs and the Eagles, but I think there's just more intriguing matchups with insanely offensive juggernauts. But crazy storylines fantasy-wise heading into Week 6. I'm going to get started with Nick here. What do you got for us this coming weekend?
I got actually a great matchup. 4-5 start, Cardinals-Browns. I think that's going to be a hell of a game. Cardinals just had a bad game against San Fran. They look like they struggled. I think they're going to put up a lot of points. And the Browns defense just gave up 47 points to the Chargers. And now you got Kyler Murray who's going to come off of a bad game. He's got to perform. And I got a hot take for you guys today. Christian Kirk is going to go over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns.
If they can't cover, if Hopkins doesn't get the ball, it's Kirk.
It's going to be Kirk. No, there's no
or
AJ
it's
Green.
or it's AJ Green.
Or AJ Green.
Yeah. It's too open to say for sure, but I like that. I like the odds of Kirk.
I'd have to take the field just because there's so many mouths to feed.
That's fair.
What blows my mind is the Browns are favored.
Really?
2.5 point favorites.
How is that even
I don't know.
possible?
The Cardinals
are undefeated.
They're the only undefeated team.
Well, anyways, we're going to move to Carlos because I know he's got something intriguing coming into Week 6. Carlos, what you got?
So I want to pose a question, but I kind of already know the answer already. I think it's silly to doubt it at this point. Jamar Chase, would you say that he's a wide receiver 1 at this point?
Absolutely.
Depends who your other wide receiver is on your lineup.
No.
But in Cincinnati, he's the guy.
He is so consistent. I want a guy just like that with that connection, but it also depends on Joe Burrow.
So here's my case for Jamar Chase being wide receiver 1. He's going to destroy the Lions this week. Last week he went 6 for 10, 159 yards and a touchdown. He's Joe Burrow's preferred premier target. Tyler Boyd has become almost an afterthought.
He was the good wide receiver too, and they were looking like a good duo. But then once T. Higgins came back,
coming back kind of threw everything into
a massive fork in the road for Burrow. Yeah.
So Jamar Chase to me is going to be the guy, but more importantly, the matchup itself. The Lions are giving up over 381 yards a game, and they give up the most yards per catch. Jamar Chase through the first 5 games, 23 receptions, 453 yards, 5 touchdowns. That's Randy Moss numbers.
Unreal for somebody who has stone hands in preseason.
Jack was nice enough to put it on his screen, a tweet from PFF. Randy Moss through the first 5 games, 22 receptions, 462 yards, and 6 touchdowns. So he's a step behind
elite company.
Randy Moss. But I think he's going to, whatever Moss's numbers are through 6 games, Chase is going to beat it because he's facing the Lions, who give up the most yards per catch in the NFL. That to me, that's the juiciest matchup. If you have Chase, start him with full confidence. If you don't have Chase, or if you're playing like DFS, that whatever the cost is, invest in it.
100%. I couldn't agree more.
What's guaranteed in life? Death, taxes, and Joe Burrow throwing a deep shot. Every single game.
It's happened every week.
Every game. And him catching it too.
Yeah, and I just think it's great. I honestly love seeing that connection pan out. But yeah, anyway, so Jack, what you got?
Okay, so for me, I'm going to go to this Thursday night game. You referenced it quickly earlier. It's the Bucs versus the Eagles. I think this has sneaky upside to be a real.
I kind of agree. We kind of said this before. Thursday night games are generally wacky, so I wouldn't be shocked if the Eagles show up.
They used to be terrible. If you had people starting on a Thursday, you would bench them regardless of what the matchup is. Now it's almost must start.
The over/under is 52.5. So Vegas thinks this game is going to be high scoring.
For all we know,
You're
Miles
not-
Sanders
you're not
might score a
asking for a lot.
touchdown.
Well, you hope, Gil.
Oh, I would freaking hope, huh?
Like, what's the score you'll be looking at? Like 28-24? That's not out of reason.
No,
And honestly, like I mean, I talked about it earlier with Devontae Smith. Like, I want him to be my trade target. Like, I'm plugging him in every matchup. Every matchup I've got, I think I own him in one league, but I'm putting him in this week because I think he's just going to be an absolute monster.
I think just look at Eagles receiving options because the Bucs secondary isn't amazing, like by any means.
Yeah, you could throw on him.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think like,
Hell, Mac Jones threw a little bit on him.
Tampa Bay are going to also, all their receivers are going to eat as well because the Philadelphia secondary isn't great. Although Darius Slay is fine, but they're still going to do well anyway because he can only cover one guy, and they have more than one guy. So that's going to be a big juicy matchup this week, I think, for me.
I'm excited for that one as well, but I'm going to go to this one. Chargers, Ravens.
Homer.
Listen, I don't care. That's two insanely great offenses coming off of incredible games over the weekend. Yes, call me a homer all you want, all right? I love Herbert. I got my fantasy quarterback Lamar Jackson in there too. But, oh my God, I'm so excited for this game. You don't have no idea.
If it's not a shootout, I'm going to be severely disappointed. I want to see over 60 points.
I bet I'm taking the under in this
The
game.
total is 50.
Really?
You're taking the
Yeah,
under.
I'm taking the under, 100%. You know why? Because when something sets up to be such a chalk, like, oh yeah, this is going to be over, this is going to be a great game, it's going to be 14-7 like it was the Vikings and the
Lions?
not the Browns, yeah, the Vikings and the Browns the other week. It was
Yeah.
14. Like that had all the makings of being a huge game.
That did,
I
yeah.
guarantee they just let us down this week.
Well, FanDuel has this game at a 51.5 total, and
Hammer over.
taking the over.
Hammer it.
Big over right now. Are
Hammer
you
it.
kidding me? I would take that. Ravens are favored by 3. Also, I honestly and that could be covered.
Yeah, I think it's an easy cover.
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
I might single game prop that with a parlay that rather with a Justin Herbert over on yardage and Lamar Jackson over on rushing. I think
I'm
they're just
excited.
gonna have their way
I'm
with each
excited.
other.
I have both Herbert Lamar. I also have Eckler in the league as well, and I think they're all going to just eat. Obviously
Besides
you saw
the Ravens running backs, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, just the thing is, like, Jonathan Taylor just lit one up under the Ravens behind.
I wonder if Nick knows about that.
No. That's coming up. That's coming up.
I'll remind them again. Jonathan Taylor lit up the Ravens. Anyways, so what I'm saying is,
he
if
also had-
Jonathan Taylor can do that, Austin Eckler is going to burn them.
Jonathan Taylor had 4 catches for 117 yards and a touchdown. Without that, like, he did not do that well against
He still had a
them.
touchdown.
Yeah, I guess he rushed in for one, right?
Yeah.
I mean, all right, so if he just had the rushing numbers, he would have had like 10 or 11 points.
Yeah.
He got the majority
know.
of his stock through receptions, and honestly, since we're talking about Austin Eckler here, I don't see why he can't do the same thing.
Yeah.
Going on a little bit of a tangent, are you at all concerned if you own Keenan Allen
Yes.
with the emergence of Mike Williams?
I think you have to.
I
At
played
thi-
against them both.
Because not only is he just hitting
this is
Mike
not just a
Williams,
trend anymore
he's
with Mike Williams.
Not only is he not just hitting Mike Williams, he's hitting Jared Cook. Like,
Yeah.
I'm concerned.
Jared
'cause-
Cook, who's burned me on so many other occasions on 100 different teams.
No, the thing is though, like, yeah, you want to be concerned for Keenan owners because he's a receptions monster. If you're not throwing him the ball, at least on short routes, obviously he gets the deep ball pretty well. But if you're not throwing him the ball most of the time, nothing. Because there's players that can get all these chunk points. You know what I mean? Like say like a Devontae Adams who got his chunk points, like 7 points on like a 60-yard reception.
You being a Chargers fan, do you think Mike Williams keeps it up this season? Is he a top tier receiver in the next draft?
I think he goes probably 4th round the highest.
Wow.
Highest. I don't say it'll happen. Realistically, he'll probably go like 5th round. Because think about it, Cooper Kupp went 5th round this year. Obviously, nobody expected him to go crazy, but
Sure.
I would say 5th round value. I would think so. Keenan Allen's still going to, if they can figure out how to keep integrating Keenan Allen into the system, I think his value is still there.
I think this like reminds me hugely of when Chris Godwin came into Tampa.
Yes.
Yeah.
And no one expected him to do that. Everyone expected him to put up some numbers, but no one wanted to accept that he was the wide receiver 1 until like they realized that he was the wide receiver 1 there.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that
When Evans became completely touchdown dependent.
as long as Mike Williams can stay healthy, which has been his problem over his career, which it looks like he's like landing differently now. I don't know, like you remember the days when Mike Williams used to come down with a ball 6 foot in the air and just like land on his side, and you're like turning away, like, oh god, he's done it again. But like if he can stay healthy, like he's a top 12 wide receiver. That's the
Yes,
season.
absolutely. Moving on. That was great, by the way. We're gonna go into therapy. I'll cue the music in. Whoever does this in post-production. I'm going to go first on this one. This is going to be a great one I'm going to talk about. Kickers. Thank you. Thank you. I had Rodrigo Blankenship this week.
Oh, no.
I neither face nor have him, so.
He gave me 8 points, which is good, which is not terrible. But man, he could have had like more. I'm just upset. Like, what is it? 13 extra points missed across all games this week.
Yeah.
I am so upset.
26 kicks missed.
26 kicks missed.
How can we talk about kickers without talking about Mason Crosby, man?
I was about to just say that. Yeah, no, I'm not even.
Nobody wanted to win that game. Nobody.
No,
Oh
we're not going to just talk about Mason Crosby. We're going to talk about Evan McPherson, who celebrated after he thought he made the freaking kick.
He had the flag.
He had the flag.
That doesn't count.
You want to know what? You want to know where this started? This started last week when Nick Folk put the doink of the century into that upright. That sounded like
The
a
doink heard around the world.
That sounded like a gunshot. I was terrified. You know, even the Chargers, Mike Moscato, they could have tied that game, and like they just muffled it. I'm so upset about that. But yeah, kickers. On top of that, last therapy session I discussed how defenses pop off against me, right?
Uh-oh.
It happened again.
No.
I lost in our league because the guy I was playing had the Buffalo Bills defense.
Oh, God.
Oh.
If Mahomes didn't throw that pick six, I would have been fine. He did it. He threw a pick six.
And you don't see Mahomes ever throwing pick sixes like that.
No, I'm disappointed. Anyways,
I want to slip this in. Mason Crosby, more like missing Crosby.
where is it? Thank you. I was waiting
quick
for it.
trigger figure.
I'm here all week.
I love it. Anyways, that was my therapy. This is going to be rather brief, by the way. But that was my therapy, and I'm glad I got it out. Anyways, I'm going to save Nick for last again, because last therapy he was absolutely lights out, and I need him to finish it off on a strong note. So I'm going to swing it. I'm going to swing it to Jack,
Yeah.
and I'm going to hear what I want to know what he has to say.
So for me, me and Carlos are in similar boats in this week in that I have 3 leagues. I won one, which was against someone who wasn't that great, really. Sorry, it was Carlos.
Oh, damn.
So I
Play the
ended-
sound effect again. Play it again.
No, we're fighting now.
So, in fairness, that league was kind of like that matchup was kind of wrapped up kind of soon. So like, it wasn't like one of those like nerve-wracking ones. But in my other 2 leagues, I just lost pretty like comfortably. Like one week, one of the matchups, he had Mark Andrews, he had Mike Williams. The guy put up like 181 points. There's nothing I could do. I scored 114. This is why I hate projections, by the way, because projections.
Oh,
are
they're
just
the worst.
horseshit.
Oh,
They're
no,
just
I
horseshit.
hate them.
And then in the other league, I was projected 105 at one point. The other guy was projected 150. I ended up scoring 142 because Eckler decided to score 3 touchdowns in like the 3rd and the 4th. But I was up 16, and Lamar Jackson was just not having a great night up until, as we were talking about, 3 minutes left of the 3rd. I needed him to score less than 16. He was on 9. I literally sent a message in our group chat saying, "Hey guys, I just need Lamar to carry on shit in the bed."
Oh, no, I got hyped because Lamar went
As
nuts,
soon
but
as
Jack
that
was
happened-
going.
No, but as soon as I said I just want him to keep shit in the bed because he was on 9 points. Mm-hmm. He throws his bomb to Marquise Brown, and I just never mind, lol. I just lost.
Oh,
so
man.
honestly, I couldn't be mad because I didn't expect to win that matchup. But that's my therapy for the week, and it wasn't too bad.
It just it feels like a taxing 5 weeks, although this week wasn't terrible, but like
Yeah.
it still put its toll on
There
us.
was the biggest fantasy numbers I've ever seen this
Oh,
week.
yeah.
People were losing. What was it in Gil your league?
In my money league, I put up 200 points, and my opponent put up 187.
That's
because
insane.
everybody went nuts.
That's
And this
wild.
is, let me also mention, it is a standard PPR league, and I just simply had Lamar Jackson, Devontae Adams, Antonio Brown, and Austin Eckler go crazy.
I quit
Anyways,
after that. I'm done.
Yeah.
anyways, enough about me. Enough about Jack. Carlos, we're ready when you are.
It's gonna be a very brief, not so cathartic, because most of my matchups were over before they started.
I feel like that's therapy, though.
Yeah,
That's therapy.
Yeah, so I have, and this is the problem with having multiple leagues, is you have players all over the place, and then you'll root for players not knowing that you're facing them in other leagues. And Bobby Trees was one of those guys. In our league where I lost to Jack, the score indicated that it was a little bit closer than it was. It really wasn't. And that matchup was early quick. I was pretty much taking a nap by like 3 o'clock on Sunday. I faced the following players in several leagues: Mark Andrews, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Jamar Chase. Just to name a few.
I
went a collective, and this is just money, plus our league. I went 0 for 5. This is the worst fantasy week I've ever had, but it's not soul crushing where I scored 150 points and lost by like 3, to the top score. No, I got comfortably beaten in all of them, so I really didn't feel it. I'm like,
just numb to it all.
Yeah,
numb to it all.
Just numb to the pain. Like I just did a line of coke and I don't know what happened.
Just chalk it up to just forget it. Like, week 6.
You know what? That's exactly what it is. Like, what are you gonna do about it? This is how fantasy works. You lose more often than you win.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just coming off of a championship, so I feel like that's who I should be. Meanwhile, in this league that I've won the championship, I've been in 20 years. I've only won twice.
Damn.
So I don't know why I'm surprised, but I'm just is it week 6 yet?
Yeah. Anyways.
We just got news as well that Rob Gronkowski is out for Thursday night's game as well.
That's good to know.
Not trading Antonio Brown yet.
Keep him one more week.
He lives to see another day. Anyways, back to therapy. Thanks for breaking that news, by the way. That's very
Jordan
important.
Schultz on Twitter.
Can we keep that for the remainder of our show for like forever? That was amazing. Nick, Mr. Romeo, the floor is yours.
He looks like he's about to cry.
I'm so concerned.
I might actually, sit back a little bit.
Cue the music. Let's give this man some room, shall we?
Boys, where do I begin? Well, actually, Karlos, to go off you, I also went 0 for 5.
Oh no.
5 leagues.
Oh, man.
But there was just so much that had to go wrong that did. I just don't get it. First of all, we were in class yesterday, and right when we get out of class, you guys are like, oh, Jonathan Taylor went off for a 76-yard reception touchdown. Get the out. I was like, are you kidding me? Immediately lost.
That's the first time we have to beep something out.
Sorry about that. I need to add that when I told Nick this, I've never seen this man look so devastated in his life.
He was just defeated.
He just like fell to the desk. I was gone.
That was it. That was over.
It sounded like I delivered just the death of like a family member. Like, oh my God.
One of the leagues done. Second league, Rodrigo Blankenship.
I don't know.
I needed him to score me, what was it? How many points did he score last night?
He put up 8.
He put up 8. I think I needed 10 from him.
Oh, man.
And I would have won in that league. But again, his field goal got blocked late in the game.
That's miserable.
Second league. Third league, I'm in our league. I'm going against Sam. And I'm up by 30, 40 points at that point. I'm like, I got this. I even got the Colts defense. And even when you were saying, too, Lamar Jackson with 9 points late in the third. Great.
You were counting your money. You're like,
I was like, I got it easy this
Bring
week.
me my money.
Nope. Lamar Jackson goes off for 40 points.
Wait, I actually have a question. I'm curious. Would you have won had that Colts return touchdown
Yes.
counted?
I would have gotten points
Yes.
because I have Colts defense.
Because they gave the fumble, but it was a forward pass.
Well, I know what the best part is, too. If that actually stayed, I would have won in 3 leagues.
Oh my
I had the Colts in 3 leagues. And
God.
it wasn't a lateral.
Wow.
Somehow it wasn't a lateral, and then finally, I traded away Myles Gaskin in both of my leagues after always playing him. Always playing him, and finally he goes off for 30 points against the best defense in the league.
Yeah.
This just isn't my year, guys.
Yeah.
No, you got to chalk this up with a fat L right now.
I'm right there with you. He
It's-
was sitting on my bench with all those points.
So-
I'm curious, Gil. Out of all your leagues, what did you go like?
I went 2-2, including the Chaos League I'm in.
Okay, so I went 1 and 2. So you went 2 and 2. So between our, let me work that out, 15 leagues, we had 3 wins.
Guys, you should keep listening to us.
Wow.
We do know what we're talking about.
I swear we know what we're talking about. It's just we're just unlucky. We're just unlucky. All right? We're just unlucky. Anyways, thank you guys for listening to the 4 Horsemen this week. Round of applause, everybody. We did it. It's been a tough week, especially for Mr. Romeo right here beside me. But
I needed that. Thank you, guys.
yeah, I'm happy you're okay.
I appreciate it.
Thank you again for listening. We'll be back next week. Throw up them 4s. Thanks again. Have a great weekend and best of luck.
I need a drink.